Someone the having on the side of Bba Basra season, Rezavinum Locha. He says, okay. Um, okay, sorry. Just again. Um, so there was the case before was person said to his friend, "What are you doing with this land?" So I bought it from you, and I I was in the other property, so you have to prove that I wasn't there because I was passing through your property, even though you're paid him for the chazaka. Maybe I was there also. Rama says this is the din of Motzim Chaver Lebraya, and so Rav Nachman says you're right, and he has to prove that you weren't there. Rava says no, you have to take it out. You want to prove that you say you're there, you prove that you were there. Okay, now they're asking a steer of Rav and Rav. The Amr Lechavre, on the side of the Bba Basra, and he says all the properties of Bba Basra and Zavin and Lach are going to be sold to you. Haviyahu, there's a certain land that have a mikveh Bba Basra which is called Bba Basra. Amr Lev Halav the Bba Basra, and he says that's not a Bba Basra land. Bikri with the mikveh, and it's just called that way. The Bba Basra is called the Bba Basra. I was looking at Nachman. They came from Nachman. Akman Biyada, and he left it in his hands and says, yeah, and Biyada to Lokach. He put it in the hands of the Lokach, the person who bought it from him and said, I'm buying all the Bba Basra lands, this one's included. Amalei Rava Dina Hachi, the Rabbi says this is the din. Hamotz Mechavei Alav. Someone who wants to take out from his friend is upon him the proof, and therefore it actually stays in the seller's fields. Kasha the Rava. It's a question of Rava. Rava said before Hamotz Mechavei Alav, meaning, and therefore first the master gets to keep it. And here he's saying, the buyer gets to keep it. Here he's saying the buyer doesn't get to keep it. He's saying the mocher has to keep it. Kasha the Rav Nachman and Rav Nachman. It's a question of Nachman and Nachman. As Rav Nachman said earlier, that you have to prove that it's a good chazaka, and here Rav Nachman saying it's you don't here Rav Nachman saying you get it and you don't have to prove it. It's good. You proved your point. I mean, another way to look at this, he puts in the hands of the Lokach over here, and earlier Rav Nachman said you have to prove it's in your hands of Lokach. Okay. The Rav and Kash Rav Nachman. Okay, Rava the Rava no kasha. Now, on Rava and Rava is not a question. Hasam boichakai b'nefsi hakol l'keach b'nefsi. There, the mocher standing in his property. Here, the mocher is standing in the property. See, Rashi, calling this on the Bba Mary season. He's selling you all these properties. Kol mekolosim calls all his properties. She ignati meosum adam which I bought from that person. She's mo bar season, which name is bar season. The mikveh in the Bba season is called Bba season. Kafkar and lots they call him. Then you do him calling me Bba season. Not known if he's bought from him Bba season. Well, the people make Raskaf, and that's why it's called this way. Oh, Kashimon, Shemam Yolim, but that was always his name. Virushim Lo Mios me Abosov earns just inheritance from his fathers. Ok, the others okay, put in the hands of the Lokea. In the first time in the conversation, we'll explain the reason later on. The led Yidei Ramya, the Gluye, La Bar Season, that upon him is to prove that it's not a Bar Season field, and he's saying it looks very Bar Season, it's called that way, and Renahum says, okay, you can have it. Amalei Rav Ladina Hafa Rambam says is then lahotz misavik that it take up from misavik mitachas yad mocher shu moksuk to or it sounds maybe the way to read is Dina Hafa this the then lahotz misavik mitachas yad mocher shu moksuk to take up from by using a suffix in the hands of the seller who was already a moksuk on it. The real rule then is hamotz mechaver when he wants to take out from his friends the hainu lokeach which is the lokeach who wants to take out all of the havi rights upon him he has to bring a proof. Zokos right, so those proof to his rights. Once since he doesn't have a proof right, yeah, so he doesn't have a proof, yeah, he should lose. Kasha Rava, it's a Kasha and Rava and Rava. Kasha of Nachman and Nachman. It's a question of Nachman and Nachman. So El Mugil of Nachman Biad Mocha earlier than Rav Nachman put in the hands of the Mocha, Rava Biad Lokach, and Rava in the hands of Lokach. So that's a simple way to do it. Okay. Here's the opposite. Rava's putting it in the hands of the Mocha, and Rav Nachman putting it in the hands of the Lokach. The Rava Lokasha, the Rava is not a question. The Becholdot they mufti labiyana mosuk. In every place the Rava is putting in the hands of the mosuk. Hasa mocher, there the mocher was the mosuk because he still had the property. Here there's chazak. here's this chazaka, and he's saying, okay, you've done shani chazaka, you have to take it out of this person who has a chazaka and say that it's not a good chazaka. I mean, plus he's on the field already. Okay, Rashi said, I mean, it's back in the Gemara. Hasa mocha koy b'nefsa. There's a mocha standing in the property. Haka l'keach koy b'nefsa. Here the l'keach is in the property. Rav Nachman, nami l'kash. Rav Nachman is also on a question. Hasam over there, Akiman the Amrli, since he said from the Bba Basra, or make the Bba Basra, since he said Bba Basra and it's called Bba Basra, I'll let Didei Ramya, the Gluya the Lav Bba Basra, the Vav Bba Basra. Upon him to prove that it's not the Bba Basra. Avalhach lo yehel naked shtar, but here, it should only be like it's holding a document. Milo Arminan like Kayim Shtarchel become an nefsi. Don't we? I mean, even if you want to consider the chazaka that he has like a shtar, don't we tell him to go prove your your shtar and bring and stay in your property? Meaning over here, it's just called Bba Basra. Is that enough to take it out? No. Over, sorry, over there, it's called Bba Basra. Is that enough to take it out? No. Over here, in our case, it's it's more that I'm claiming you don't have any proof that it's yours. You're saying that I've done Shani Kuzak, and I'm saying no, you don't, because I was there. And therefore, it's not a proof. Rashi says, keeping the Kuliyam correlate the Bba Basra, since everyone calls the Bba Basra the near the farm of Shalafika Nikras Kain. I got it completely backwards. Sorry, they're keeping the called Bba Basra and it looks bad. And it really does go into the hands of the Lokeh. Okay. Because here, that's Rav Nachman's opinion. Here, when Rav Nachman says, no, that's right. I didn't go backwards. It's okay. In both cases, he's always going by the claim that it's called Bba Basra. Okay, so it's called Bba Basra, and that's enough proof. But if you want to say I have a chazak, you have to prove it. Okay, and he's saying you don't have a chazak, you're always there. Okay, given the Rejban, given the Kuliyam Makorili of Bba Basra, since everyone calls Bba Basra, when near in the environment the words seem right. The feature, the fecal nasal scheme, that's why it's called that. Economy Bba Basra has part of Bba Basra, and who Amr love me bar season lakasta. And he's saying I didn't buy it from bar season. Allah the day Rami upon him it's placed. The gluya to reveal that ilahavi raya to bring a proof to Lam bar season lakal. They didn't buy it from bar season. Maybe I'll be able to create with the mikveh. He brings truth that it's just called that way for whatever reason. Okay. V'lo mehani shalach from bar season. It's not from those fields which you bought from bar season. He makmina laviyah. They will put it in his hands. The havashid Dolan is partial to us. The high the amr lays the bar season. Then he sent to him the properties of bar season. The mineral has been sold to the Hochakam. Here's what he means to say. Nifsish Kanesim Imenu, the properties are bought from him. Lonisish Alonik Kanesim Imenu, Application again. Not the properties which I didn't buy from him, but even though they're called that way. Kafner is a Shita, such seasons the Shita. Milo Minan Kaim Le Sharka, when we tell him to establish his star. Achwisha Mocha wrote the postal since the Mocha wants to pass, Lynn says no good. Zaka Shalshal Shonim, but Mocha Shtar, and the Chazaka for years is in place of the star here. But that's what's coming. Since the mocha is protesting on chazaka upon the chazaka, she'ain a chazaka, and it's not a chazaka. So still the havi and this person has to bring proofs. Shechaz kasuk mura that it is complete chazaka. Shalo dar zayimo that this person wasn't there with him. V'hafi trey of the in these two cases, sphere length from Nachman pass like Nachman the halacha so hilchos like kavasli, the din of the halacha like the men did. Plain poskim pirish v'panina ish romi. Similarly paskin v'panina ish romi. Who's Amalei? The person said to his friends, my voice by Abesa, what are you doing in this house? Amalei, we know some into Vachadash on Chazaka said I bought it from you on 8 years of Chazaka. Amalei Beshuki Berai Hami says I was in the outer marketplace. and I just wasn't okay. Rashi's I was in a faraway marketplace, which I couldn't hear what you're saying. I couldn't hear that you were on the field. Amalei, but yesterday said to him, but I have witnesses, the Kol Shanta, that every year I have an Ashla Sasnim coming for 30 days. Amalei, Tasnios and Meshuka have it's written, it says the 30 days I was troubled with my marketplace. I didn't have time to worry about my house. I thought it was fine. I left out of the country or whatever, not a far enough place that I don't hear what you're saying, or what you're doing. Rava the Kol Sos and Yom Tar B'Shukitz, but Rava says people do it, and 30 days the people could be trouble in the marketplace. It makes sense to claim, and you don't really have proof that you have a chazaka. And so therefore it is. Who the person said to his friends, my boy is Bahayar, what are you doing? Actually, let's see Rashi. My boy is Bahayar, what are you doing in his house? Everyone knows, everyone knows the mind. B'Shuka, on a B'Shuka B'Rei, I was in a far off marketplace, V'eretz M'chokim, in a faraway land, Makom She'ena She'eretz, but certain places there aren't wagons going found, V'lo Yadati, and I didn't know that you were on the field and I could protest. The Kafla Mechitz, if I didn't protest, it's not in Perak, and we learned in Perak, Hayab Yehuda V'Yechta V'Galil, was in Yehuda that he made a chazaka in a different country called Galil. Eno chazaka is not a chazaka, Hajj Hayim or Medina is in the same kind of country, but also Malchus in that kind of kingship. The Havi Sharetz Matsuris in a place where there is wagons found. I mean, you could look about Bishasha Chayrim, or you could make it in the case of establish the case in a time of when there's a Chayrim going on and the people can't go. But if you both even in the same country, but A city is not going to B city. We don't talk to B city because the government is in place. Okay, look, I'm by going to say later on in this parak. Similarly, we're going to explain like Vanish Gana. If a Mogam Shasheris between replaced with his common wagons, will lack of Chayrim and there's no Chayrim, Lo Mat Italian talk, he's not able to claim this. The time limit parak, when he's passing on parak, Masdigum and Yesti Barech, you can do a chazak on the property of a person who runs away. The Machash a little bit fun of having a Machal that protesting on the front of is a protesting. Vitayan Lo Yadati claims I didn't know, she has to kish Ploni, that a person didn't make a but a certain person made a chazaka, shali, because I my property, therefore I didn't protest, and an enemy wouldn't be believed. The key hates that Amin and Mechash love fun of having Mechash, just like we claim that a protesting on front is not a claim, is not a protesting. The Chav because every friend is a friend. The Yomer Lo the Masik wants to tell the Masik. Kamokain Amri Sota they'll say Lazev Sha'adam Echad So they say to this person, Sha'alim Echad Masik Bekaka Shalo, that one person's son is Chazaka, Hoil Bashar is B'tuyim B'chein Allah. So the Sodal tells this guy that someone's on his field, and because there's wagons found, and that's the halacha that. Okay. Ahud Amarle the Chavis, the person said to his friend, my boy is by our, what are you doing in this land? Amarle Meplan is been because the Amarle, they say that the Amarle, there's Dam enough to bought it from you. If bought it from a certain person, bought it from you. Amarle, Adluma, Laka Moses, the High Aram, you are Moses, that land is mine, but Adlul Zavinamina, you didn't buy it from me. Zeal, get out of here. Alabal the Varmziyat, you're not the owner of the words, meaning you have no claim against me. Amirabadina Kamarle saying they didn't, let's see what's happening. Oh, sorry, I missed one more. Shvishoga between he's in trouble in the marketplace. Limkos, of course, is in the last case to sell his merchandise. Lipnos, the person to acquire other property. Basically, I didn't know you were dwelling in my house. But going to Yishlo and buy his for example, another house, you're in that city. Shoaib Malach Miss Asin Sham Yom that he would guest there for 30 days. When he's in the marketplace, he stays there and gets his stuff ready and he stays by the marketplace. Asian person Meshuga having those who explain that Meshuga have treated with trouble in the marketplace below highly penai limkos. I didn't have any time to protest. I knew about it, but I couldn't protest. Obviously, that's even though I knew about it. Pain in your pain. I don't think that's right. I don't think you can make that claim. Amalei Mipani is the min the zaman menach, or that's what the Gemara is talking about. Either you can't make a claim, you can't. No, I don't think you can make. Okay. Rashi is saying, there's Rambam saying he doesn't think that's the right case. Think about it. Amalei Mipani is the min the zaman menach. Klomer. Sha'amrli b'shas mechil. They told me at the time of the sale. Shahu look coming across. This new case is where he's told me at the time of the sale he bought it from you. Toin since he doesn't claim that in 8 years of Chazaka, Mechir Shalo is then beyond Star Mechir Shalo is still in his hand. He still has the Star document. Umaskana the mills of the Makvina Libyana Ma'ar, and the end of the matter is to give put in the hands of the person protesting. Behind the time, so he's got a document. What's the reason? Here's the reason. The given the Moses Shalohu, since he admits that it was his field, coming to originally. Below me by Hazel the Lohistic Ba, Shaloshana. We don't need to talk about the case where he didn't do a chazaka for 3 years. Elafilu Hifsaba, even in a case where he did do a chazaka, Shaloshana, for 3 years. Nami in a chazaka, it still wouldn't be a chazaka. Mafkino Lemon would take it out of his hands. The chazaka chaining matayni, because the chazaka which doesn't have a claim with it. He doesn't know if it was that person who sold it to him, in love or not. But how will they hinger ba for some in his it's like recognize him out the field that is not his, shamoker of the person selling it. He recognized about the field um about the mocha that it wasn't his because the mocha never he didn't see the mocha do it, never saw them or told him, but that doesn't count for very much. You have to read on the iron, you should return it to the person protesting. Who yigba ma'osa menok mocha, and he can go back to the mocha and say, yeah, you sold me a field and you don't own it, or you have no proof you own it. He's a paskina mishlayim also saying shayim also. But I forgot the lack of even though there's no proof, there's no witnesses the ma'ar to the protester. I mean the Gamar below modestly, and from the fact that the Gemara says, don't you admit to me, which implies I only have your admittance. Below mean a migu diboy, we don't say the diboy if he wants, and we don't say there's a migu that if he wanted to say honors of intimate, no, I bought it from you about chadash and I ate the years of chazaka. Kiyam even when he says also implying his mitzvah done enough from certain person I bought it from you. Namely, they should be believed using that migu. True asmo eno yodeh because he himself doesn't know him if the mocher bought it, so he can't use the migu. I can't. No, you can prove what he says. What I'm saying that I bought it from a certain person who said he bought it from you, but I don't really know. I mean, okay, and I don't know if what he said was true. I mean, I know he said it, but I don't, and I do believe in that he said it, but we don't know if what he said had any relevance or was that all true. If you want to mean your dim he doesn't really know if the mocha really sold it to him. Because the ma'ar, from that person, from the ma'ar, imlo or not. Hilkach, even though the who moed them the ma'ar, since he's admitting to the protester, the shaloh heis that it was his, but that's what then can make him, then his admittance counts as 100 edim. Dummy, begam moda who shein yodei. He also admits that he doesn't know him lachar mocha lo min habalim. If the seller bought it from the owner, imlav or not, the whole time the zavan minach he didn't claim that he sold it from you in front of me. Oh. V'gam ein lo edom shehilzik ba yamok yamech. There's also no chazaka, no edom that the person selling it had a chazaka for even 1 day. Once you have a chazaka for 1 day, so now we'll taina for him. But without that, we're not going to taina for him. So we don't have 1 day even. Hilkach hifsid, therefore he loses. Avol hifzik zeh lashana. But this person has 3 years. The time my plenty was a minute of zamim nach, and he claims that from a certain person I bought it who bought it from you. Kamai didi in front of me. Kolomashi yadati bebir shalakachtam shalakachtam. And I know for sure that he bought it from you. Neman migu di bayamar anazaminta minachi b'gafal t'shana chazaka. We believe to say I bought it from you and I ate the years of chazaka. Inami yesh lo edom shehilsik ba hamocher or else even if he had witnesses that the mocher was there for 1 day and the sale wasn't in front of him. He doesn't know, but I know he was there for a day. Okay, I mean the common and this will say later on in our parak, Gabi Yehud the Darba Kashta V'Eliyasa, and this person dwelt in Kashta V'Eliyasa, Arbashnim for 4 years. And Bahayov then here in this case also, Afilu Im Bo Edimim, the witness comes, Shehiltik Ba Yomecha that they chazak for 1 day, also Hamofer, that Mofer, who sold it to him. Aval Ein Yodea Im Locha Chosavim Im Lav, we don't know if he bought or not. In the mall it wouldn't help. Klum. Me'acho Shazelu Hilchik Shaloshanim, since this person didn't have a chazaka for 3 years. V'gam harishon ein lo shtar mechira min habalim, and also the person doesn't have a sale document from the original owner. Why don't you have your document? You say, well, it's been 2 days. There's no chazaka. I know you have a peshas. You know you have a peshas so that he was there for a day, but the first guy wouldn't be believed. There's a big hack if he can be believed by saying it wasn't yours, because if he would have said it wasn't yours, then this new person would have admitted and given back him his field. So, but anyway, the Meshbam is holding it doesn't work. Just saying that he was on the field for one day, because you don't have any explanation of where your how you lost your star. The first person will have a star. The second person has no right to lose their star from the original owner. So where is it? If it was Kamai DD, so then we say, okay, yeah, you lost your star. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I mean, for sure you're telling the truth with the Migu. But since we don't have a Migu to say that you bought it. We just have that you were there for one day, and there's no document. So we can't tiny it in for you from one day and smicky and give you the field. Where's your star? Okay, modestly, the Rashi, the Ram says, Kamoshi Rashi has explained, Vat Minai Los Vinta, you didn't buy it from me. Shafi Shafilu I used to tell him to Minai Vinta, even if you claim that you bought it from me, Alo in the Chalo Shtar Velo Chazaka, behold, you don't have a Shtar nor Chazaka. You didn't buy it from me. Zeal, get out of here. Be cautiously from my property level, the barn be you're not my defendant. But ani mostly by Yosef and I have more of a chazak on it than you. Sha'at lo chayef six shalashon because you didn't do chazak for 3 years. Amar Rabba Dina Kamerle, the Rabba says he's doing it. Says the Din is saying to him, Hama'ar, the protester, Rafilu, im hilchti b'shalashon, and Moshe Barashi v'chein Allah. Even if you made a chazak for 3 years, since the first guy didn't have a chazak, wasn't there for one day, and we don't know if the first guy even bought it from him, so therefore the protester would win. Chein Allah, and that's Allah. Says the Rishbam. One person said to his friend, my boys, Bahar, what are you doing in this land? I bought it for a certain person 8 years of Chazaka. Amalei said to him, Plani Gazlanu, Plani is a Gazlan. Amalei, Isli Sadi, but I have witnesses, the Asi, Vim Lafta Bach, and I went and I asked you, and I asked you about it. Now, Marceline, you said to me, Zilzav and go buy it. What do you mean? If it was yours, you wouldn't have told me to buy it at the field. Amalei Asheni Noachli Varishan Pashim. It says the second guy was hard. The second one is better for me, and the first one's hard from him. Meaning I couldn't deal with that first guy, so I told you to buy it. Fine. Mipani Zvinta Dizam Vachadashani Chazaka. Ve'in Loenim, there's no witnesses. Shehilsik by Oso Hamocha that the person who sold it was there for one day. The Zulu Havi Matsutain Plani is the Gazlana, because then he could no longer claim that Plani is a thief. The Hatanino look at because we would claim for a person buying it, saying maybe the Mocher bought it from you, but and we have Chazaka, so it would work. But we don't have this claim because we only have one day that the seller had it. Rahum before the comments explain later on. Gabi Yehuda and the Darba Kash release in regards to that case of Kash release. That if you want to say, I have a chazaka and I bought it from some guy, you have to make sure that some guy was there for a day. Otherwise, we're not going to claim that some guy bought it from the first owner. It's not enough. In regards to that Kash release and Arbishanin. Pliny Gazlani, who pony is a Gazlan, was thought to do in this field. Shemimenu Nigzalot, that from me it was stolen. And I asked you, I asked advice. Zilzov told me to go buy it. Leichana, go buy it. The reason why I did this, Hashem know the second guy was easier for me. Anta know you were easy for me. Leriv for the fight with you. Lahotzim can take from you, but then in court. That's why I told you to do it. But really, it's mine. Okay. Amar Rabba says Dina Kamalei saying it into him. Come on, Godmon. So the Gemara says, who is that like? The Rabba saying that he's saying that you could say, I like the second guy, so I got him. That's like Godmon. That's not. It's not in the Mishnah. The one who protests about a field and says, "This is my field." And he signed on the document that says this field is really certain persons as an aid. Admin Omer Hashem Noah Kli Varishon Kashmir. And then the Admin says it's fine to be signed as an aid. You could say this. I just wanted to make sure the second guy gets it, and make a sale from the first guy to the second guy valid by being an aid there, because this way I can fight with the second guy. The first guy was harder than him. Even as a Huzav he's lost his zuchos, he's clearly shown that's not his. The Gemara, so therefore, just like here, just like here, the Chacham don't like the idea that you could say the first guy was harder than me, was too hard for me, so I got this new guy in there. That's not a good claim. So to here, shouldn't be able to say that. The Gemara says, if you with him Rabbanan, even if you want to say the Rabbanan, Hasam Avile Maisa, there he does an action and signs the whole document. So if that whole thing wasn't belonging to the first guy, he wouldn't do that, according to the Chacham. Avalacha, because of the Burahu, but I mentioned the Mikvah, but here it's just words and giving him advice, go buy it. So words, so it happens, the person doesn't happens to say that and say, I need to make sure it's guys in the second one. So yeah, go buy it, because I need to fight with you. Okay. Amr Rav Rabbeinu says, Dino Kamalei. The law is saying to him, Arvi, the protester is saying the right. Then he tells the day he takes his field. I feel Adam and Rabbana, even Adam and Rabbana, no pleading now, but the oven, our mice. They're only arguing when the person who protesting did an action, so it's okay to help the person buying it, look close to the buying the field. But Dibur Ba'alma, just general words. Hulu Modikar, everyone agrees with Mark and Rabba, get them far, those are explaining and going. Rav Bijhisabag Moshan, even though he has a 3-year chazaka, below Mafan without a protest, and he asked that he would lose it. So he has a 3-year chazaka, he still loses. The ha chazaka shein matai, because it's a chazaka that doesn't have any claim to it. Shemodahu shalolach miyad habaylim. He's admitting he didn't buy it from the original owner. Kim miyad ish nothing except from some random guy. Shein yodua shehi shalo shaya shlo elegba. It's not known that he had any portion in it. Fili yomethid one day. He's not able to say, why didn't you protest on the original owner or the protester in the middle of the 3 years. The Hain the master. So yeah, because where do we say that you lose ma'ar, the person who wants to take the field back, because of it being quiet? I know the time idach minaf the that's when the other person is playing my bottom from you. I need to use a chazaka. The adshal hashanim is dar inish until 3 years the person keeps to his documents, star more, he doesn't get careful. He'll cause zashalomicha there for this guy not protesting. When he's and he wasn't careful with his document, he loses. Abul Halka the Modi Mastic, but here the person who's on the field agrees. The Lomini the Ma'ar Mizam, he didn't buy it from the Ma'ar. Jehu Baal which is the owner of the field, the Adam Zavna Lo okay, and with witnesses he bought it. Not sure why that's in there. Lower meaning he bought it from the second guy. Lower Shalmar doesn't weaken the power of the Ma'ar just because with his silence. That the Chazaka is replace that with the document. That's what it stands to be. But given the ancient star of Mo, since the document wouldn't help, because he bought it from a person who stole it, so to his Chazaka is nothing, because you can only say you bought it from the first guy, and we have no right to claim that the first guy owns it. He's a Goslin. Command count on the same who's this like Rabbanon. Vanan kamen like Rabbanon. We pass like Rabbanon, but Perkad Achron, the Kesubas not Perkam Kesubas. It's not linked to the mission. Reuven Hamar saw the first person who claims about a field, tells about a field. Shemachar Shimon the Levi. The Shimon told his Levi, Omer Reuven, he Shimon Goslin me that Shimon stole it from me. Who Reuven Hamar, and he Reuven who was protesting. Chosim 1180 signed in it as an 8. Both are starting that document with Chirish Chosim Lo Shimon Levi, which was sold, which is written from Shimon to Levi. Chosim Ruvain the 8 Achrimo. Ruvain is signed in one other witness with him. Hasheni Levi no Afli. The second one Levi is easier for me. L'kach something. That's why I signed it. Ma'aser Shechasamein, there's a case when he signed as an aid. The Mikri V'Amr that it happens and he says it Lashon V'Yikar Mikra, it's Lashon of and it happens, it's happening. Okay. He told me to go buy it from him. Im Shalcha, if it was yours, you should take it out, but then with it for free. Not to waste your money. So, oh, sorry, this is next case. And who the person said, a certain person said to his friend, "My boy's bayar. What are you doing this land? I bought it from a certain person, and I eat the years of chazak. From years of chazaka. Amalei planya gazanu. Says Pliny is a gazlan. Amalei v'ha'is lisahadi. So meaning, okay, let's go back. Admon says you wouldn't sign it. You could say that I would even sign as a document on a document, and therefore it's not a proof the fact that I gave you that I signed on the bottom of the star going from Shimon to Levi. The Rabbanan say no, you can't sign the document, but they all agree that you could say, yeah, go buy the field because I want to make it to the third guy, and say, and then take out the third guy. That's not enough proof because what I was really trying to do is get it to you so that I could take it from you and fight with you. I didn't mean to admit that that the first guy owned it. I just couldn't deal with it. If you're signing a document, so then the Rabbanan are saying, no, okay, you can't sign a whole document to get it to the third guy to do this trick. No, that's not. We're not going to believe that. But say some words, everyone agrees. Okay, who done with this? However, a certain person said to his friend, "My boy's by what are you doing this land? I'm going to leave me plenty of vintage about Chazal Shana Chazak. I bought it for a certain guy and he used the Chazak. I'm going to leave plenty of Gazlanu, plenty of the Gazlan. I'm going to leave, but I have to witness that you came at night, and you told me to go buy it from him. I'm going to leave, Aminullah, Izbin Medina, I said, I'll buy my din. No, sorry, no. So, and you told it to me, and you told me, sell it. No, Zamnanili, sell it to me. So meaning I have witnesses that you asked to buy it from me. So if it was yours, why would you ask to buy it from me? Amina Izbin Dino, I said I'll buy my din. I'll try and get it from you by paying you. Amr Rabbi says Dina, people do and they buy the din and they even though they really own it, they're willing to pay to get it, not have to fight for it. Okay, let's see Rashi. Let's do the final case. The person said to his friend, "My boys, my eye, what are you doing in this land? I'm going to me plenty of vintage of Chadashan Chazaka. I bought it for certain plenty and 8 years of Chazaka. I'm going to Mohan Naktin the star, but I have the star. The Zavni Mine Arba that he sold to me Arba Shani 4 years ago. So meaning you have 3 years. After 4 years ago, he sold to me. Amalei, and therefore your chazak is good, but I have a star 4 years ago from that person, so you can't say you bought it from that person. Amalei mitzvah shani chazaka. Plus, do you think that you have years of chazaka, just 3 years? Shani chazaka to come, shani plus shani kamina. That's what I meant to say. Shani chazaka to become. I mean, many years I went to say. I have more than 3 years. I have 7 years. Rabbi says, "I'm an the car of the shani tuba shani chazaka." Rabbi says people do call many years shani chazaka. They just meant I have chazaka. I have much more than a chazaka, but our chazaka is all we need right here. Mahani mili dachas shavel, and this would only work if you wait 7 years. The cousin chazaka, the highly star, the chazaka of this person comes before the other person. Yeah, Sheven shanin. So we said you wait 7 years, because then you have 3 years before the document, and therefore there was no reason to keep on to your document. If you wait after 3 years, and then the document comes, if it was before the 3 years were over, and then the document comes, so you could never have lost your document. You knew there was another document on this field, and you shouldn't have okay. Come on, Cobb. Meaning you should have known to keep on to your star, is what I'm saying. That's why it has to be 3 years before the star came back. Even if it's much past 3 years after the document came out, once you know that a document's coming out, when there's no right to be a document, You should keep on your stuff. Okay. It's not Reuben ha or else on we learned in the Mishnah. I don't know we did that one. Oven Yishas of Indeed, a person does that he buys his din. Other time, a simple person, Shana wrote to these guys, he doesn't want to fight. If he lives even on his own stuff, also who holds him out, so it's done, and he takes out his money. Lead the Shlomo to take his own stuff. Below din focus without a din and a maflokas. And therefore he's able to say, I want, even though you have a witness that he said, buy it from me. Witnesses say, I'll buy it from you. That doesn't mean that it wasn't his. He just didn't want to fight. In the explanation of Rabbeinu Hanan was explained. Amina lives in the Mizman Dina. I thought I had to say to buy my din. Like no, I'm supposed to buy the fighting Kolomer Alphabet who even though it's mine, ain't a motzim yado at below Marivos Vadinim, and I can take it out of your hand, out of his hands, the fighting and judgments. I can also Madinim will buy those judgments and Marivos and those fighting to Elo Motzim learning. Alphabet how Orachel, even though the mainland is really mine, whatever, I'll buy it. The next case. I didn't keep on to my field anymore, my document anymore. I'm a label Haman Nikita Star. I have this document, Shekazabah, the Zavna Lee. It says it was sold to me, Homer Shekanuya Epslim and Hamofa, that it's bought to me from that person who sold it to you. Has that. Arbashonim, this one 4 years ago. When Nimsa Shekalim the Chazak comes out of my sale, came before your Chazak even started. Shanachas 1 year. I was 4 years ago and you did 3 years back from now. And you from me didn't buy it. Hilka Chazaka Shani Matayna. They were to Chazaka without a claim, because you're claiming you bought it from the first guy and you 8 years of Chazaka. I say the first guy sold it to me 4 years ago. He because the mocha wasn't able to sell it to you, because he's only sold me first. Amalei Masik the person on the field says to the Mara, if you think that when I said Shana Chazaka, Hainish Tlas Shana Bizmatimsum is exactly 3 years, Shana Chazaka too. I mean, many years I was saying. She called the star show called the many years that came before your star harbor, many years. The whole Chazaka, with the whole Chazaka. In the Mefarish, as is explained, what does this do? Hey, the common. Ulafiha. Take out the word novel. Okay. As it can enforce the common. Lafikach, as explained later on. Lafikach Hamayati Shani Chazaka. That's why Sheikh Shani Chazaka is down. Shlo you there that he didn't know Shahel start that you have a document Shal Harbashana in 4 years. Should start with Tonan before Shani Chazaka too, then it's gonna have to claim and explain many years. I meant many years. I didn't know you had a document. That's why I just said Shani Chazaka. People, Rabbi says the men do call many years a Shani Chazaka. Just stop. Bimbo Laton after he once claims after the Shani Chazaka Tuva that he meant years of Chazaka, a lot of them. Yosim Gimel Shanim, even more than 3 years. Well, let me see. Tuva Komer, Yosim Gimel Shanim, more than 3 years. Yeah. Angel holds the Baton is not going to be claiming. Taina affair is a different claim. The half of the time is to be shown to contradict this first one. But on and Kamilan, we pass on later on the end on Toan Bavezin, the close of a turn. A person can claim one claim Bezin and then go back and reclaim a different claim. Taina's affairs other claims. The half should be shown which contradict the first one. Ella after Shaton, Taina's to be shown as Nifsuk, then after the first claim, the din is Paskin. Hilka Ki Maisi Sadi Bahani Shani Kazaka Tufa. And therefore, since we do believe you when you said Shana Chazaka meant even more than 3, when he brings witnesses with these years of Chazaka Tuba, a lot more years could have been Mamnino that we believe him, Shari Lo Chazavaton, he didn't go back and reclaim. Vahani Mili, And the Hashbam says, the Makminah Biyad that we put in your hands, the Icy Biyad, the Icy Saadi, the Uncle Zion. When he brings witness, he ate 7 years. Shekad Meshane Chazak, Shalom, the Mechiras Ashtar, that he came to his years of Chazak even before the sale of the document. Still document was 4 years ago. 3 years before that, you had a Chazaka. Okay, Shamar. Shamocher Atmo Lo Yochel Mocher, that the seller himself wasn't able to sell it after Shehachsin was the Technical Mashanim Meshufi after he had the Chazaka for 3 years. And so the sale document means nothing. I believe that's the Sa'ad the Elamishis Shani, but if he only has witnesses for 6 years, Hadin Im Abal Shtar, the law goes with the person who has the Shtar. The Inlacham Machal Gadol Midu, there's no protesting better greater than this. Shemich Mocha, that the seller is protesting, the I'm not thinking about this person who has making a chazaka. And so after 2 years he did protest. That he sold it to someone else. This person should have been careful about his document with the Olam forever. Until he gets that document out of the second guy and rips it up. He knows there's a document after him and he should be careful. Those explain that he doesn't need the years of chazaka Zion Shana for 7 years. Ella al Gimel shall Gimel. For he just needs the last 3. We believe him al Ashar about the other. Once we the Amr Rava from the fact that Rava says, and the fact that Rava says that people call many years a Shanei Chazaka. Lam Dukain, that's how they learned this, and they said that, you don't even need to bring witnesses. Yika Zahadi al Kol Sheva, that if the witness is on the whole 7, Shanim, Amayet Shruch Meimer Avinich, why does he have to say that people call many years Shanei Chazaka? We see clearly beyond Adam that he meant that. Well, Milsi, that's not a thing, he's wrong. Shari Chazaka B'Makom Mishtar, because the Chazaka is in place of the document on Medes. Lo Yehei Chazakas Gimel Shanim Achronim, and it shouldn't be the Chazaka for the final years, Sheish Lo Eidim Aleim, which have witness on them, Ela Shtar Shal Gimel Shanim, only a document of 3 years. V'Hari Shtar Shal Dalet Shanim Kodem, but the document of 4 years is before that. So we both have documents. Uposlo, and it passes it. 3 years are no better than the 4 years which were sold before it. Okay, so it's not such a thing. He does have a little bit of a migu. Okay. If the words of Rabbi you can't learn, you can't bring a proof from that. You don't need witnesses for a whole 7 years. Because Rabbi is coming to tell us that it's not called claiming and reclaiming. This says the end. He says I meant of many years of chazak. It's not called a reclaim. The Ovid Inish is a person does call many years of Shana Chazaka. That if he would go back and reclaim, the Hafish Devar Mishon to contradict his first words, even when he brings witnesses, Bahani Achronim, with these later years, in Okum, it wouldn't count as anything. That the admitting of the litigant is like 100 items. So if he said I had only Shana Chazaka and that really meant 3, then even if he brings witnesses to 7, you're done. You admitted you only have 3. I don't care what the witnesses said. The Achatan is the Rishonim Nelech when we go in after the first claim. And Pirush Rabbeinu Chananel and the explanation of Rabbeinu Chananel Nami Matzri Eidim L'Chol Zion Shanim. You also need Eidim for the whole 7 years.